Hello and welcome to another podcast. We have a special guest today, and she's visiting from Russia and has been in the US for the last few weeks. What I'd like to do is have you introduce yourself and tell them all about Maria and what you would like in what you're doing in Russia and what are you doing here. And then we'll go through a couple of questions, maybe just to help everybody understand the mindset of a global entrepreneur and what entrepreneurs around the world are doing.
Right. Well, hello everybody. My name is Maria Knyazeva, and I'm from Russia. I'm from Kaliningrad, which is the westernmost part of Russia. I'm a Russian entrepreneur, and I run my own private education center in Russia for already 6 years, and we have around 600 clients, 600 students. And I'm here participating in RBL, which is Russian Business Leaders, which is a part of government-funded program. And I'm happy to be here. The whole stay is 5 weeks, and now it's the middle of my stay, and I'm honored to be here to be the guest of Paris. Allow me. Thank you very much for having me.
Okay, so just a little bit about what is it that you're doing there? What's the business? I know you said you have 600 clients. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, sure. So, center which I'm running, and another co-founder now, a team of 10 teachers. We have a private education center, which is English to students aged from 5 to 18, and then we also educate adults and teachers of English. So we teach English most of our time. So because English is international, it's lingua franca, so it's very demanding in Russia.
Cool. That explains your amazing English. That's
Thank
great.
you.
So let's just think back, and I know you have a co-founder and you have a team there. What would you, looking back, what was maybe like the tipping point or the defining moment that you said, okay, it's time for me to do this. I need to open this business. I need to make this a reality.
Well, by the time by we started our English school number one, which is the name of our school in 2012. 2 years before, and for 2 years before that, I had been working as a private English teacher, and I would go from one student to another giving private classes, and all the feedback which I was getting was highly positive. So, and Irina was doing the same, and actually, I was using her methodology. Irina is the second co-founder of our center, and she kept telling me, let's found a school, let's have a school. And then, but there was one problem. One very famous businessman in our town told her, it's not worth having your own business unless you have your own estate for that, for example, office building. And that's what was holding her back. And I opened the website, which offered business property for businessmen, and they were relatively reasonable prices. And I said, why not? I mean, I don't see any reasons why we would fail. And that was the moment. And she decided to give it a go. So I was like, I was the person who did some like very small research, but this was some kind of push. It boosted us to start. And since we started, it had been growing ever since.
That's great. That's what a good story. So from teaching on your own to teaching and starting this business.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Since that moment, her mindset and her opinion about having your own estate changed drastically, and now she believes that you don't have to have anything. Remember Uber, remember all these companies, they don't have any real material things.
Yeah.
State, yes, right. So I'm happy we started with this point.
Yeah. Well, I mean, clearly Uber and others have other things like technology or
Sure.
people similar to your business. Your knowledge and what you got is important, and it's something that we always talk about is entrepreneurs have tons of resources at their hands. You don't have to look outside of what you don't have. You can just use what you got, and you could probably start something. That's great. Maybe you could tell us a little bit more about, now that you've been going as an entrepreneur and you've been an entrepreneur, what's been the best thing of being an entrepreneur for you, in your eyes, in your mind? What's the best thing being an entrepreneur?
Well, being an entrepreneur, it's not an easy thing for sure. And I keep saying that you need to have great feeling, right intuition, guts, which tell you which you have to listen to, which you are to listen to. And the greatest thing for me has been that you can implement your own standards. And if the bar is high and you set the standards, I mean, you don't have to follow anybody else's rules, and you can set your own rules. And you can have your own, I would say, state. It's like your own country with your own laws. Right. That's what I would say.
Great. Um, and if you were to take time back and look back, and if you were to start all over again, is there one thing that you would have changed or one thing that you would change being where you are today if you had the opportunity to redo it all over?
Well, I've been thinking about it for a long time. Well, in terms of our company, I wouldn't have changed a single thing because it's been perfect and smooth. I would say that I really had trouble myself getting to the right, let's say, state of right way of communication with clients. I would change it a bit because I was young and I was, I was very ambitious, and I am still very ambitious. I would just change my manner of communication with clients
In what
slightly.
way? In what way?
I would probably, I'll probably be, I don't know, like smoother with them.
Okay,
Yeah,
got it. Okay, so your language might be a little bit more softer.
a bit.
Okay, that's great. And there are probably lots of people, that may be out there thinking, should they start a business, should they not? Do you have an advice looking back now that you've been doing this for a while? What should they do? What would be your best advice for them?
Yeah. Also, like one moment which I've been thinking about a lot. When you start a business, ask yourself who you are doing this business for.
Mhm.
And in most cases, you would be doing it for other people. If you're doing it for other people, like me, for example, because I'm doing it for parents and for children and for everybody to improve our world at my scale, let's say, I would ask myself, do you have this great sense of responsibility? Ask yourself, what is your attitude towards the things you do? I mean, like, are you responsible for your life? Are you responsible for lives of others?
Mhm.
If you cannot answer this, and try to analyze your sense of responsibility, because I would say if you're going to provide services or something for other people, you should be responsible for it, and you cannot do it badly. You have to do it right.
Great. Well, thank you so much. I mean, obviously, we can keep you all day asking you all kinds of questions, but if there's one thing that you would want to leave the audiences with, you're welcome to say that now. Otherwise, I really appreciate you being here and thank you for your time and wish you a continuous awesome journey.
I'm going to continue my lesson journey. Well, I would say for all the entrepreneurs, like potential entrepreneurs who are not there yet, I would say that I think now is the right time. I mean, like in my region in Russia, I would say that everybody's starting their own businesses. I have a student who is 11 and she started her own business selling slimes. I also have a student who is 17 and he also started his own business. Well, if they can do that, well, obviously you should give it a go. And it's better to try it and maybe not succeed in something, but you give it a go and you see like what comes out of it. So it's better to give it a go than not to give it a go.
Thank you so much. Have a
Thank
great
you
day.
for having me.
Thank
Bye.
you.